Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to It's All Reality TV.
It's all relative!
I'm your host Joe here with Survivor Millennials vs. Generation X Season 33, Episode 4, Who's the Sucker at the Table recap. First and foremost, I'm just going to say it's been a couple of duds, I feel like, for episodes so far this season. I'm not overly impressed, and I'm not really gravitating to a whole lot of the players here. But anyways, let's just get straight to it. All right, let's just get straight to it, and we'll go for a brief summary of how the episode went down, and then we'll just get diving into it a little bit more detail. So first, we're going to start off with how the episode firstly started off, is how it ended in the previous episode. So you see the Generation X people coming back from Tribal Council, and obviously the majority got bamboozled.
You've been bamboozled!
Or who they thought were the majority. Like, Chris is not happy. He is a sad panda. And, rightfully so, you should be pissed off. You let it slip through your fingers. You got a little cocky. Typical Generation X thing that you guys have been doing. But we got an interesting headline here, guys. Lucy's actually getting some screen time finally. And you know what? I don't care. I don't like Lucy at all. I think she's kind of annoying. Looks like Lucy Liu, but with like a constant resting bitch face. Almost like she is hoping that she turns into Lucy Liu from Kill Bill, but she won't. She'll just get destroyed. Like, not too impressed there. But she's acting as if like she can play and she knows what's going on. Now that there is, like, Paul is gone, there is room for now someone to be a voice and be a dictator, which is, I guess, what she's trying to do. But she's also trying to throw Jessica under the bus, making her seem like she was the lead ring leader in this situation, and is showing her cards by passing the blame. Not a bold. It's a bold move, and
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
I don't think it's going to work out for her. It's not smart at all. Okay, so jump into the Millennials. It's a little bit of a Lord of the Flies part here where there's a pig. They're trying to, they think there's a pig. There's tracks. They're going after it. It's actually a goat. While all of them are doing that, trying to be heroes and catching this goat, Adam is looking for an audible. Like, that's very smart to do. Now, I don't know if anyone even clues in that he's doing this. And look what happened, though. You give him some time, he finds a clue. And that's a good throwback because it's been hinting a little bit that he is on the cusp of finding something, which is really great. So I'm happy for Adam that he's doing that, especially because not that episode, but the one before that, he got bamboozled with Zeke when they voted out Mari. So it's like, at least he's progressing. All right, we go to the reward challenges, the next part, and it's a classic one. Just in this case, instead of it being shallow waters or anything like that, it is pretty deep with a bit of a riptide coming in, but no undertow. They're holding their own unless they're just all freakishly strong. But basically, it's the classic one where you match up guys versus guys, girls versus girls, and then there's usually a mix thrown in sometimes where there's going to be a ring thrown out. They got to go and find it, or not go and find it. They have to go retrieve it, and then first team to have holding it while touching the post gets the point. And gotta say, Chris is an absolute beast. Like, holding down two people at once while David goes in to shine, get the points for them. That was pretty funny. As well as just as funny as Chris's tramp stamp. If any one of you guys caught that, that's a typical Generation X tattoo, is the tramp stamp. So that's also pretty hilarious. But then we get this episode, or this challenge seemed to have a lot of funnies through it, because after that, when there was the all girls, Lucy started. This episode seems to be all about Lucy. Like, she's just doing things where in this case she's trying to take off Michaela's top, and it's like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna share some tatas for the world. So you didn't do it though. Anyways, first and foremost, Generation wins the reward, which was pretty good to see. I guess they needed a win after that one. And when you look at the guys versus the guys from the Millennials to Generation X, the Generation X guys are massive, but like the millennials are more lean. So we all kind of saw that one coming. So, and you know, this constant story is that Chris is an absolute beast. Okay, so the end of the challenge, we get back to the millennials camp, and Michaela, you are the winner. Like, you are an absolute, you were tearing it up for what you could do in that challenge, for what you could do, and showed off some tatas while you're doing that. So nice. Thanks for showing the tater tots. And then Adam, good for you, man. He finds the idol on a shell that looked like it was a Wilson handprint type of style there, which was pretty funny. And then, you know, Hannah surprisingly is just there. Surprise Hannibal Lecter right there, the Hannibal. But she's just like, oh, how's your idol going? He's like, oh, not so good, blah, blah, blah. Which makes me wonder, it's like, so does everyone know, or is she just kind of cluing in? What's going to happen about that? Because usually if you're caught looking for the idol, you're going to get cast out and put a target on number one. But it seems like nothing happened there. Like, why let it go? And then you cut to the heart-wrenching moment where it touches your heartstrings. Adam starts talking about his mom, who's been fighting cancer and everything. You can't help but, like, feel a little bit of empathy towards that. I don't know, though. I just have a gut feeling somehow that he's going to basically pull the same type of thing that Terry Dietz did 2 seasons ago, but also what happened in All-Star season, where Jenna had to leave because she had a feeling about her mother with cancer, and she ended up dying like a week after, I think, when she got herself out. I have a feeling he's going to have to opt out because things aren't going well with his mother, but who knows? Okay, so now we're back at the Generation X, and Lucy's keeps on just trying to push the Jessica thing, and starts, you know, pointing fingers at Ken, being like, you got to stick to your word, don't talk to her, blah, blah, blah. Keeps telling people what to do. And the classic thing is, if you tell someone to do something, it's just like a child. They're going to do the opposite, and they're going to tell you, like, they're going to do the opposite. They're going to do what you said not to do. That's just how things happen. At this point, you definitely know no one's liking her, and that she's going to get blindsided. So it's like, we're not surprised. Immunity challenge. This one was pretty interesting to see. I might be missing something, but I think it's a brand new challenge. Like, it was pretty cool. It was like, you have your whole team hoist up your guy, like, goes through an obstacle course, and then they hoist him up to the very top, and then you have almost like an advent calendar style thing of like piece number tile 1 to like 30 or whatever, and you got to pick it up in succession. So 1, 2, 3, like as it's going up, down, and you're moving over left and right. So that was really cool. And then it goes into a puzzle, like Wheel of Fortune, except you got no clues. You just got to kind of guess at it. I mean, the funny thing about it was just watching adorable David trying to do what he can only do, which is try and lose a bit of a lead. So good job, David. Gold star. No demerits for you. Cute little bastard. 45 minutes later, though, that these people can't find out the answer for the puzzle. Since we know what it was going into it, it's like, okay, like, come on, guys. But to be fair play, there's a lot of tiles. There's a lot that you have to try and figure out. But still, 45 minutes. Shame on both of you guys. But I've always had a good feeling about this guy. I've said it in my last few episodes that I love Zeke. Zeke is the one that gives the clue on what one of the words were, and next thing you know it, Millennials get the win. Thank you, Zeke. And it was great. Like, I like seeing the people that are behind the 8 ball, that are not in the majority, or at least got screwed over, are at least progressing their own games in some kind of way, rather than rolling over and dying, and causing a win so everyone gains to like them and want to keep him. Okay, so we're back at the Generation Camp, and obviously since we're going to Tribal Council, this whole edit has built up where it's Jessica versus Lucy, and you see now, like before, Ken was pretty annoyed, so it's Ken and David obviously are kind of linked together as it seems, and they're making things happen. Like they're going to Jess for her vote and everything, and they're trying to get everyone that they can to vote against Lucy. Which, you know, good for you guys. It's a good ploy to have to tell Jessica this is going on. And during this whole time, Lucy's being clueless, which just goes to show where her game level is at and what she understands that people are taking what she's giving off, that they don't like her, and she's kind of in La La Land thinking that people like her, but no one does. So at this point, we all get to Tribal. 2 in a row for Generation X. Like, it's not looking good. This is their 3rd time in 4 episodes going to Tribal. Could have told you so that Generation X is going to be behind the 8 ball on this one. Based on how things are getting edited for this whole episode and how things are going about attitudes and everything, I gotta say I'm like this edit is showing like it's an old school edit where Lucy is just getting out. You can tell, but like how are the votes going to trickle down is what we have to ask. But in that moment though, where it seems like Lucy is supposed to be going, then out of nowhere Jess starts questioning Ken on truths and everything of who's told what and everything, which is starting to get people to be like, hey, can I trust this guy? But you know, after everyone votes, way to go, David, pulling your idol out. Oh, that was so sneaky. I liked it. Ken didn't even know, because like you could see him just be like, had no idea, because he actually voted for Jess to go out, which is crazy. And they only had 2 votes to get Lucy out, and the rest were on Jess, except for one weird one. I think was that Cece. But anyways, it puts a big target on David that he's here to play. He's got an idol, but it got out another minority, and it didn't get him or Ken out. But it was weird because Ken seemed to go on his own accord, and also so did David. So is there a little staggering issue there? Is the thing that we got to address. Like, what's going to happen in the next episode? Based on those 2, like, are they going to still stay together, or are they going to start to drift because they decided to do 2 different things? Or was that their plan and we just didn't get to see it because of the edit? But because Jess was going to go home and David saved her, I think he just gained a huge ally in Jess. She'd be a fool not to trust him, because like he used a pretty big thing and showed his cards very early on, and he could have just held on to it because he knew he wasn't going home. And a lot of people that give their idols out and use them for other people, it doesn't always work out for them in the end. So good job. And you got Lucy Liu packing. You know, Uma Thurman will take care of her after this idol, or this after this season of Survivor. So that was the episode. It was okay, pretty predictable. The edit showed that basically Lucy was the one that was going to go home, especially through the preview. You knew through the preview when we were watching it of Next Time on Survivor last episode that she was being a bit of a dictator, and that doesn't rub people the right way at camp. Don't tell people what to do. That's the moral. You got to have a good social game, which she definitely did not. So now, for next time, we get to see that there's a new Generation X hidden immunity idol that everyone is scurrying for, obviously. So who's going to get it? I have a feeling Sunday's going to get it, but I still am going for Team Ken and David. It would be pretty remarkable if they did get another one, but I feel like they're not going to find it. Yeah, Survivor this season has been really good about hiding it, but I don't know. I'm getting a little tiresome of idols. I just kind of want to see how strategy is going to foil out and everything. But anyways, we finally get it as well. There is going to be a tribal switch in some kind of way. Jeff says, drop your buffs. So let's see how it goes. Is it going to just split them up, which makes sense? Or is it going to create a third one? I think it's just going to stay at 2 tribes, and they're just going to swap people around. Hopefully David and Ken don't get separated and they stay together, and that David links up with Figgy and Taylor. Like, I'm not a huge Taylor fan, but I'm a huge David fan, and I know David planted that seed that, you know, I will opt out my Generation X people for you if I can have your trust. So we'll see how that goes. And then on the other flip side, will Zeke and Adam stay together, and will they be able to be on a different tribe to create some trust with people, so then we can have 2 good alliances going at each other come merge, which I'm hoping for. I really, really hate it when it just becomes one big alliance that's just to steamroll their way into the merge, and then it's like, 7-on-2 or something like that, and just nothing happens. There's not a lot of big plays except for when it has to be done at the 7th tribal. So we'll see. But it seems like how it's showing that Figgy and Taylor could potentially get split up. And if they are, it's going to be a shutout to All-Stars where Boston Rob and Amber got split. And in this case, if that happens, can either of them survive until merge together without each other? That's the biggest question. So, I don't know. Now is the time for the player of the weeks, and I got 2 this week, and I'm going to go for one for the Millennials and one for the Generation X, because I thought that there's 2 people here that actually stood out this episode based on the edit and that are still here. Because Lucy's out. She had her like 5 minutes finally. It took 4 episodes for her to get any screen time. But for the Millennials, player of the week, I gotta go with Adam. Good for you, Adam. You and Zeke are both you're on your heels, back against the wall, and you needed to nut up and shut up and find an idol, and you did. So kudos to you. Good job. Now, another week in a row, gotta give it to David. David read the situation, knew that they weren't getting any of the votes their way, and that they were all going to Jess. And he played his idol, which I think gains now a huge bit of trust in him and Jess. As long as they continue, like next episode, have a conversation when they get back to camp somehow when it's dark or something like that. Being like, I want to trust you. I use this idol on you because I want to work with you. And then she'll be like, well, you saved me, so I'm in debt. So hopefully that happens. It would be stupid for David not to. But if that's what's going to happen, he definitely needs some more recognition, because since episode 1, he is just climbing a ladder rung by rung, getting better and better each week. And he's probably the only character, him and Ken together, are ones I'm hugely emotionally, really into, and I have a good feeling about them. Zeke, I do like. Don't get me wrong. It's just I haven't seen anything that's win-worthy yet or shows any type of ambition or strategics or anything. Probably because Millennials are just steamrolling overall the competitions. They have a 75% win rate when it comes to immunities. So you can only do so much strategy when you're not going to tribal, right? So I don't know. That's it for this week. Tune in next time for the episode 5. Please subscribe. Ask me some questions. If I get enough questions, I will definitely add a segment at the end where I'm answering questions about strategy. What do you think is going to happen? You name it. So stay tuned, guys, and please let me know your comments. All right. Cheers.